One moment.
There we go.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Global Chamber Monthly AI Globinar series. I'm Yuka Nakasone, Executive Director of Global Chamber in Spain, and we have Malaga, of course, Madrid, Barcelona, and Valencia as a chapter here. And it's wonderful to have all of you joining us today from across Europe, Africa, the Americas, and beyond. For those who may be new to Global Chamber, let me explain it briefly. The Global Chamber is a private global business community active in more than 600 cities worldwide. It's amazing. Connecting leaders, entrepreneurs, investors, innovators to create opportunity across borders. Our activities are both online and in person. For online activities like this, we have more than 500 sessions like this one every year. Doug Branke is the CEO, and today he is here, and he's connecting from the USA. Today's session is specifically exciting because we are previewing one of Europe's leading event focused on digital transformation, artificial intelligence, and emerging technologies. It is called the Digital Enterprise Show, DES 2026. It is taking place from June 9th to 11th in Malaga, Spain, and this has become one of the most important global meeting points for executives, innovators, policymakers, startups, and technology leaders exploring how exponential technologies are reshaping industries and organizations. We will explain what exponential technologies are later in this session. This year's Congress will bring together hundreds of speakers and more than 350 sessions focused on topics including artificial intelligence, intelligent automation, digital transformation, cybersecurity, and sustainability, among other topics. And today we are joined by several leaders who will be participating directly in person in DES 2026. They will share insights into this year's program, the major trends shaping the future of business and technology, and why this event has become such an important platform for international collaboration and innovation. It is a pleasure to first welcome Sandra Infante, event director of DES 2026. Sandra has an extensive background in events, marketing, communications, and international business development, having worked with global brands including L'Oréal, Tag Heuer, Dior, and Macro. She also previously led global marketing and production strategy for Summit, one of the world-leading innovation and entrepreneurship platform. Since 2022, Sandra has served as director of DES, helping position the event as one of the Europe's premier gatherings focused on artificial intelligence and exponential technologies. Sandra, thank you for joining us today. Please present your event. The floor is yours.
Perfect. Thank you, Yuka. It is a pleasure to have the opportunity to share with all of you what we are preparing. We're talking about a 10th edition, so this is a very special year for us. This is Digital Enterprise Show 10th anniversary. And as you were mentioning, we are celebrating it from June 9th to 11th in the wonderful city of Malaga. And actually, our event, the basis of the event was always to try to help any type of organization from any type of industry to be more competitive through the use of technology. So when we created and designed this event, we always thought about a business event and a strategic event, and of course, a technology event. So everything that we do, joined by the sustainability part, are going to be developed over these 3 days. So every year we always look for a driver, that is going to be the main driver throughout the 3 days in the Congress, in the showroom, and in the networking activities. And as you see here a little bit in the background, our claim is machines learn, people lead. And of course, I think we all agree, especially if we talk about AI a little bit later on, that we need to address the fact that the learnings of these exponential technologies are going really, really, really fast. And what we need is the human talent to put strategic objectives to this learning, to this evolution. So this is what we will be discussing during the DS this year. And of course, we will be talking not only about AI, but we'll be talking about cloud, cybersecurity, data, quantum technologies, and of course, I always add the marketing technologies because they're using most of these aspects. So DES is interesting because it is, as you were mentioning before, a very high level type of event. As I was saying, it is a business event, a strategic event. So we host more than 15,000 C-level executives, and we have more than 3,600 CIOs participating over the 3 days. These CEOs and these CEOs that participate, they always come also with their own teams. So we have a 38% participation of general management CIOs, but then we have the IT teams, the marketing teams, the purchasing, the business development, HR, of course. So it is a very 360-degree type of attendee. Of course, we always host large corporations, SMEs, the public sector, and of course, the entrepreneurs that you were mentioning before. And also, as an international event, we have also a high participation, especially in Europe, of all the countries around Spain. So we have Italy, France, Germany, Portugal, the Netherlands, and every year we keep on growing with other countries, and especially the countries that are more abroad through the figures of our guest countries. Now, another thing that I was mentioning before is that we try to help all types of industries. So when we designed the event, I'll share a little bit the information of how we constructed, but we receive the most of our visitors. They're coming from the top industries using these technologies that we were mentioning. So specifically, retail and e-commerce, we have banking and insurance, health, manufacturing, education, tourism, sports and entertainment, consultancy. So as you see, we're looking for the opportunity to share how technology can help all these different industries. Sometimes it's one technology applied to any industry or one solution applied to any industry. Other times it's specifically for one industry as such, and that they find the most interesting targets attending our event. Now, one of the things that are going to be different in this edition is that we are trying to hyper specialize everything that we do. So we are creating the DES universe for this edition, and we're transforming DES in an event of specialized events. How are we going to do this? No, we are creating 3 technological or 3 tech events during this celebration. So it's not something in another day. Everything happens in this date. So we're creating the Inomics, so everything regarding AI, Cloud Sky Connect, everything regarding cloud and data, and Cyber Exponential World, which is everything regarding cybersecurity. Around that, we already had some other contents and specialized area in our showroom that we're elevating to the category of event. But we're having Retail Tech Fest this year, so everything for the retail and e-commerce industry. Remember, this is the top visiting attendee that we have. We have Digital Marketing Planet, everything for marketing and communication. España Empresa Digital, we are an international event that takes place in Spain. So we are also having the space for Spanish companies to address their needs and solutions and everything that they may need in terms to be more competitive. And of course, for the entrepreneurs, we have the Scale Up World Summit, which is our event for the entrepreneurs. No? Having said this, what we create is 3 big pillars around these 3 days. One, you've mentioned it, Yuka, is the content, no? It's understanding what's happening in each of these industries that we're mentioning, what's happening with the technologies, and what's happening also for the professional roles that are visiting us. So we're creating also the Congress of Congresses. So they're led by the Digital Business World Congress, which I think some of you are going to be leading some of these contents, where we will be hosting different contents every day. We have 8 auditoriums running at the same time with more than 500, I think it's going to be almost 600 international speakers. And there we will debate on what's happening in each of these industries that we were saying. We have C-level agendas for the CEOs, the CIOs, the chief AI officers, the CDO, the CMO. So they can have their own specific content to help them, foster competitivity from their own roles. And then we will have specific tech series that will be addressed in each of these tech events that I was mentioning before. No? So big Congress. So I invite everyone to really look at our agenda and the conference speakers in our website. But around that, as this is a 360-degree event, we're constructing a very hyper-specialized also showroom where we will be having global tech solutions, we'll have management solutions, professional services, marketing solutions, or retail and e-commerce solutions. And then the third pillar of our event, of course, is going to be how to help our attendees connect with the right stakeholders. So we have a lot of networking opportunities. Some of them that might be more exclusive for CEOs and CIOs, but we have a platform to organize one-to-one business meetings. Our event is 100% physical presence. So important that you attend the event in order to get the most out of it. We have an amazing welcome party also in the beach of Malaga. So something, a place where everyone is doing business. That's what we're told. And of course, we'll have our awards for the innovation, the European Digital Mindset Awards, where we celebrate the innovation and we host more than 40 participants in between finalists and the winners. So every year we're creating something that is more special, more hyper specialized, and where we give the opportunity to all our speakers to really share their expertise in terms of the trends, in terms of understanding the opportunities that the market is bringing and helping them get the right people to create this new business opportunity and I would say strategic alliances. So I think our speakers present today, they're going to be able to explain a little bit more than me. The big trends are going to be shared during the event.
Wow. Thank you very much. It sounds like a great event. And congratulations on the 10th anniversary. It's our honor to be able to celebrate with you. And we are really looking forward to being in Malaga. I mean, some people are already in Malaga, for example. Next speaker is Nacho. So he's in Malaga. We would like you to come take the floor and please introduce yourself. And from me, I would like to introduce you as he's an advisory board chairman of Global Chamber Malaga. I work with him to grow Global Chamber in Malaga. And at the same time, he's very a special person for this because he was the Congress director before the current Congress director who is Alessia, right? And so it's a special occasion for us to welcome Nacho to speak about this as well. And Nacho, could you share why this conversation is especially important today, like Global Chamber Roundtable, Exponential Technologies, and Global South? This is what we are going to talk about, right?
Thank you, Yuka, for this opportunity. Yes, indeed, as you mentioned, I am very much touched by this. I had the privilege of being the World Congress Director in 2022 and 2023 in the first editions in Malaga. And as I always say that the Digital Enterprise Show changed my life. Since after that I moved to Malaga and I decided to settle down in here, and it is a fascinating city. It is in the global south of Spain, to put it somehow. And I think this conversation is quite relevant because we are witnessing right now the greatest development, the greatest opportunity in development in history. Precisely because of exponential technologies. The exponential technologies like artificial intelligence, like robotics, like biotech, like nanotech, like advanced energy systems, like drones, robotics, and so on. And they are accelerating exponentially. Today, the global south cannot afford to be just a spectator. It has to play an active role. It has to be a part of this technological revolution. And it's up to the global south leaders to decide which role they want to play. If creating just being early adopters, creating innovation, or just be left behind. The global south in the past they missed some of the trends of the first industrial revolution, second industrial revolution, when the natural resources were the key asset for that revolution. But now that's the key asset is not anymore those raw materials. They're also important, but probably the key asset is talent has no boundaries, and talent can be promoted through education. And we are seeing how the talent usually thrive, usually grow in those places where innovation where challenges are the greatest, and that's the places that push innovation. If very often we are seeing this frugal innovation happening in India, happening in Southeast Asia, happening in Africa. And I mean, this is not only the digital revolution of Silicon Valley. Actual innovation is happening in this global south, and because they need to provide solutions, they need to invent solutions, they need to develop something new, and in healthcare, in agriculture, in financial services. I think before I joined the desk, I was working for 30 years in the financial service industry. And to put an example, the mobile payments really was much more advanced in Africa than in Europe, Pre- precisely because they didn't have banks, they didn't have financial institutions. So they developed something like M-Pesa. M-Pesa means money in Swahili. And they were in Kenya, in Tanzania, in Uganda, they're doing mobile payments years before we had that in Europe because we were relying in the old infrastructure. So that's just one of these examples of how the global south is leapfrogging towards the future. Or India is a very very good effect of how education and how talents can be the new outsourcing. So more more evolved countries they are tapping on India for developers for all this technological talent because it's much more affordable and not only for the raw materials. So considering talent, considering this innovation, and another very important thing is sustainability. I have been working for many years in sustainability-oriented innovation, and exponential technologies are not can actually they're probably the only way to fulfill the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, since technology has always created abundance. But exponential technologies can create exponential abundance, and that's what we need because we do not live we are growing exponentially, but we do not have exponential raw materials. So we need to use these exponential technologies to avoid the friction. And these exponential technologies they are creating an economy of abundance. And this economy of abundance is probably either is the solution or either way we are in a very big problem. So these are just one of the few topics that we will be discussing in this panel with amazing speakers from different parts of the world that they are actually coming from these global south countries.
And would you define the exponential technologies? What is the definition of technology and exponential technology? I mean, technology itself
Well,
is like a tool, right?
yes, all these exponential technologies, they are the result of the 6D process of digitalization. Digitization, uh, after digitization, we saw the disruption, then the demonetization, dematerialization, and the democratization.
Okay.
So once you get rid of this analogical these constraints of physical matter. I mean, physical matter, atoms and molecules, they create friction. But once you get rid of that and bits and bytes, the digital technology, they don't have this friction. They becoming into this exponential acceleration curve. Is that what we the Moore law show us? So we human probably that will be something to explain in the introduction of the panel because we human beings we think very well linearly, but we think very well in velocity, but we are very bad when processing acceleration, when processing exponential growth.
Okay, thank you very much. And if
Yeah,
anybody has any question, please put on the chat as well, and please introduce yourself there as well. So thank you very much, Nacho, and I really
you're
look
welcome.
forward to seeing there. And we would like to welcome Carolina right now. She's
Hello.
joining from Barcelona as well. She's advisory board member. And she will participate in your Global South roundtable discussion at DES as well.
Yeah.
From your perspective, what opportunities do exponential technologies create for emerging markets and globally connected ecosystem? You're from Argentina. You're living in Barcelona, but you're from the South. And
Yeah.
I would like to see know your perspective as well. Thank you.
I bring with me all the experience of an Argentina as Nacho does, and I couldn't agree more what you have said. So for me, it's the chance to boost productivity. Using these tools is the chance to explore what we can do faster, what we can do better even. But I really like the tagline for this Congress because it's people lead, right? The machine learn and people lead. If you, as a human being, do not have clarity in the goal that you are pursuing, in the question that you are asking to the machines or even to the system that you are designing, in my case, for communication, I work with multilingual and multicultural communication. So if I do not build a system taking into consideration exactly my goal or the goal of my clients, I really can wander around like purchasing or using different licenses of different AIs and different tools, but it won't do. So the goal is very, very important. I'm going to participate in Nacho's panel, but I am going to moderate another one, and that is about customer experience. So there we're going to explore how data influences the final decisions of the people, right? And in order to have clean and good data, you really have to work on this design on this system to get it. So that is.
Okay, thank you very, very much. And I look forward to traveling with you to Malaga to see Nacho, right? And next is Yuvika, and she's a Global Chamber member in New York City. I invited her to this AI Globinar in January, and she is originally from India but resides in New York City, and he drives on this the AI adoption since I don't know how many years, but much before the LLM was democratized. So Yuvika is one of the leaders who have been doing this, let's say, digitization and driving AI adoption for a long time. And thank you very much, Yuvika, to take your time because I know you're very busy. You need to leave today early as well. I'd like to know your um, your session because you are participating in this Global South roundtable of the Global Chamber, but you're giving speech at the CEO Summit at this, right? Would you share what you will be talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thank you so much, Sandra, and to the DES team for having us there, and to Yuka and Nacho for the opportunity. So, and for the kind introduction, Yuka, that was so sweet. Yes, I'm participating in multiple sessions. So, one of them is definitely the roundtables, and you're correct. I've been in the US for almost close to 30 years, but I am Indian. And while I'm here in the US, my goal is always to be a vendor neutral advisor to global leaders. And but having said that, I do try to keep a pulse on what is happening around the world, and most importantly, India, where I originally come from. So I'll be participating in two sessions, and the first one is, as you mentioned, the Global South Roundtable. And I loved some of the things that Nacho mentioned, right? That how a Global South absolutely needs to be a part of the conversation, and making sure that these emerging technologies and disruptive technologies are being leveraged to make sure that we're not creating a digital divide, right? Because what is happening right now is that US and some other countries happen to be taking the lead. And there are other countries like India, who are definitely advancing, and Singapore is, doing, but there is a lot of fragmented effort. So oftentimes people don't realize that the world's next billion users, who are already online, they're actually in the global south. So it's not a future market, it's a current one. And, they absolutely need to be part of these important conversations. And India happens to have made a lot of progress, when it comes to showing the world in terms of what is possible, especially their wonderful example with UPI, which some of you may know about, right? It's the unified payment interface that they set. And literally anybody from like a food vendor to a person who's driving like a tuk-tuk or a rickshaw driver, like they've completely changed the landscape, right? So they are also making a lot of effort in a lot of places for establishing data centers and all. But what we are seeing from a global perspective is that, AI divide is widening, right? So even though generative AI adoption, which everybody is talking about, and AI, as I always like to say, it's much broader, so the gap between the wealthy and the developing economies is growing. And I'm hoping that as conversation that we are going to have as part of the roundtable, people realize that we need to care about this divide. And there is a lot of effort also being made in terms of, every if the country some of the countries who do have the capability, they are now advancing and trying to develop their own models. And the key point that a lot of people are grappling with is data sovereignty is like the new resource sovereignty, right? So who owns the training data, the compute, the model determines who captures the value from AI. And now AI in general, and a lot of people are not even talking about quantum, but I hate to say it, but it's almost being compared as like the nuclear power, right? Whoever is going to have, the best AI and the thing, they are going to be like the most powerful. So that's where the space is evolving. And I also want to make sure that people understand that Global South represents the majority of the world's population, and it's, fastest growing economies. So we need to make sure that everybody's part of the story. And some of the folks who are joining today's call is from Europe. So another thing that people don't pay attention to a lot is the governance aspect. So EU is writing the rules for governance, and it's going to be important, especially for Global South, because if the Global South, the companies are operating in the European markets, it's going to be important for them. And I hope that people think about it as the rules are being written. it should be written in a way that it works for everybody, not, just for like one category. So that's one. And then the second session that I'll be giving a keynote on is it's more about it's at the CEO Summit, as you said, right? That global markets are no longer just shaped by trade and geopolitics. The goal is to, help people understand that it's being redefined by AI, data sovereignty, and regulatory environment. And as I had mentioned, the regulatory environment is very fragmented, and it is leading into a challenge for leaders who may be operating in multiple markets. And my goal is to help them understand that how they can move decisively, even when the rules are still being written. And organizations who are going to take the lead is those who can think about how to treat uncertainty as a way to redefine the rules of doing business so that they do not take the regulation fragmentation as a blocker, right? So that they can kind of plan around it and still be able to lead as the landscape changes. So that's it from me.
Sorry, I was muted. Thank you very much, Yumika. I would like to attend your talk, but I still don't know. Yeah, let's see, and we look forward to seeing you in Malaga, and yeah, let's have a great networking as well. So if anybody on this call would like to come to DES, we have an invitation, so please contact us. And next, I'd like to invite one of my friends who is a special, I would say very special person because she's a lawyer, but very specific. She works for IT and communications, and she's been around for a long time talking about legal aspect of digital economy, digital development, digital transformation. She works for she has her own practice, but she works for international organization and national organization, and she is invited as a president of ENATIC. She is going to talk about this as well. And thank you very much, Belen, for coming. And would you like to present yourself and talk about what you do? And most importantly, we would like to introduce our session that I'm going to moderate. One of the sessions she's going to participate, which is Responsible Transformation, Enterprises and Technologies. Are you there, Belen? Yes.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you very much, Yuka, for your kind presentation. It was very sweet from you. Thank you as well for the invitation and for having me today at the Global Chamber Globinar. I love the name, I must say. And thank you also for the opportunity to come to go to this year and take part in the panel discussion on responsible transformation. As you very kindly said, I've been practicing in IT law, now more broadly called digital law, for over 25 years now. So I'm one of the pioneers here in Spain, and I would say also in Europe. Prior to establishing my own independent practice, as you just said, I was international partner with several international firms and was leading teams all over the world. So taking advantage of that experience, I decided to do what I what I long wanted, which is to become an entrepreneur. So I also was very pleased to hear this is about entrepreneurship. We are most part are entrepreneurs at some point of life. So I did what I long wanted, and set up my independent practice, which is a small but a very internationalized, collaborating with many law firms across the globe, and with international projects. So in Malaga, Yucca, and the rest of colleagues, I'll try to describe what is our practice at the firm, what we do to help companies and organizations. I'll probably speak about ENATIC, which is the organization I have the privilege to be the president of. Um, ENATIC is the leading digital lawyers organization here in Spain. Not only that, also very honored to be the president of IFCLA, the International Federation of Computer Law Associations, very much into the same subject as ENATIC, but globally. And there we try to spread the word about digital law, not only to specialized digital law lawyers, but also to lawyers and the legal profession at large. But what I do primarily, as I said, as a lawyer, is to help companies and organizations to be compliant with the laws impacting their digital transformation and technologies. I like very much Ubica remarks prior to mine. I very much agree with the need to move on in a very uncertain legal and regulatory terrain nowadays, more than ever. What we are encountering here, at least in Europe, and it's more or less the same all around this, that we have this regulatory tsunami, we call it, here in Europe. As you know, we have the AI Act. Very importantly, we will be briefly touching upon it. But we have also GDPR. We have the DSA, the DMA, the Data Act, Data Governance Act, forthcoming Digital Fairness Act, NIS2, etc. You name it. So this is a lot to comply with, and we help companies be compliant and in a way to put in place compliance plans that fit their size and their mission and vision, right? In my opinion, there are three pillars that are very relevant to digital compliance. First, of course, is regulatory compliance. I just mentioned a few of these laws. More generally, we have competition laws, IP laws, cybersecurity, data protection, AI regulations, AI literacy obligations that are already enforceable, auditing, conformity, you name it. This is first pillar for me, but second and not less important is ethics compliance. And I can, or if I have the time at this, I will elaborate a little bit more. But essentially, I think that companies and organizations of all sizes must think about what principles apply to their activity, as I said, mission and vision, and are in line with the organization's goals. Think about, someone already mentioned that human oversight, the principle of human in the loop, that it's so necessary, even more these times. Think about tech for good, or equality, non-discrimination, the principle of justice, the need for transparency, the need for explainability, the need for sustainability, etc., etc. This is about ethics. And if you allow me 30 seconds,
Yeah,
still,
of course.
the third pillar in my view would be, as I said, third but not least, would be governance. We need to put in place governance structures, not only regarding data. Of course, we need to do that. Data and its use, quality management, risk assessment, etc., etc. But also we need to put, or to appoint at the organizations, the persons that are internally responsible, as I said, within the organization, for the compliance of the company. And so that to have a very clear responsibility within the organization, so that compliance is not something that it's very vague and applies only to the company. I think compliance, ethics, governance, etc., apply to everyone at the organization, and this is one of the topics I would like also to discuss at this.
Wow.
This is it for me.
Yeah, I mean, responsible adoption is not just compliance, but as you said, ethical part, as you said, governance, as you said, everything else that we need to take on to educate people that works with us in the organization. And I know that you, for example, work not only with private organizations, but you work with public sector as well, because public sector, they are an organization as well, and they have to think all these pillars you talked about. So an engineer type of person can come up with a plan, but you need to make sure that this is doable in the organization, like regional government or something like that. Thinking about all the compliance, then the ethical part, then the governance part, then the training part, and etc. Right? So that's huge. So thank you very much. Yeah, taking your time, and I know that you're discarding another event in Berlin to come to this, and so we are so honored to have you there. And thank you very much.
You.
And the other guest today was Sharon, but she cannot make it, so we're going to skip. But she's from Cameroon. She's a deputy manager, deputy director for Global Chamber Accra, because she's from Ghana, but she's based in Cameroon. So she's going to talk about Global South from African perspective as well. So this is going to be a very interesting roundtable. If you're around, please come to see us. Actually, the session time is exactly the same. My session with Belen and Isabel, and the Global South. So it's a little bit difficult to choose, but please come to our sessions. So thank you very much for coming, everybody. If anybody has any comment from the audience, I would like to hear any reaction, any questions, anything that you thought. Is anybody there to ask questions? For
I don't have a
example,
question, but I have a comment. I just I wanted to thank everybody for all of their insight, and I just found it very refreshing that a lot of the topic around AI and a lot of the the top conversation around that had so much to do with the people part of that, the ethical part and using it responsibly. And I'm not surprised that that conversation took place here, but I'm just thankful for it. So thank you.
And are you connecting from where today?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in Arizona.
Arizona. So you're a
In
Global Chamber.
Global Chamber, Arizona, Phoenix.
Phoenix. Wow.
Yes.
Headquarters.
Yes.
Thank you for coming. Is there anybody else who wants to say anything? Maybe we are going to look back to Sandra. Would you like to comment anything after we all speak?
Perfect. No, I just want to say thank you to all the participants and especially for you to organize these content sessions. As we were mentioning before, we have some super leading speakers among you all. And I would like to share maybe a little bit more of the other speakers that will be participating this year. So you have a little bit of an additional overview of who are we hosting for this 10th edition. So I would say since we have also the American Global Chamber, we have Randy Zuckerberg. So she will be focusing also her session on examining how AI is becoming really a driver for business influence with impact and growth. One of the things that we're looking to present in the event is how to rentabilize everything that we're doing with AI, for business. So she will be talking about her experience in the past with Facebook as CMO, but of course also as herself as an entrepreneur. So we will have her as one of our top speakers. We also have Ricardo Baeza Yates from the KTH Royal Institute of Technology. We have people from Google. We have also Kimberly Ware as another international consultant in brands such as PayPal, Nike, HSBC, Michelin. We have people from UNESCO, the World Bank. We have also Vincent Botti, one of the leading AI researchers in the world, working on proactive role AI plays in strengthening resilience among different sectors. I would also say that this year we have China as a guest country. So we will have also a delegation of top speakers such as Dr. Yongdong Wang. He's the corporate VP of Microsoft and president of the Asia Pacific Research and Development Group. So he will be also able to share with us what they're developing from Microsoft, but in Asia. We will also have Fred Sun. He's general manager for Europe at Tencent Cloud. So one of the other super top tech companies, and it's the cloud computing arm of the parent company behind WeChat and Riot Games, League of Legends. We have also Margaret Chan. Many of you may know her in Spain, but she's one of the recognized more top influential and women from tech companies abroad. So she's been working also in the tech industry for many of her career. And of course, we will have some of the leading CEOs and CIOs from the different industries that will be working with. So from the banking industry, from the health industry, so everyone else that will be sharing with us their expertise and joining you on stage, in many of these sessions that we will be organizing. Those 350 sessions, I think we're already at. Don't worry, everything is recorded. It will be available after the event in our video on demand platform.
Wow, exciting. Exciting. Thank you very much, Sandra. So once again, to all of our speakers, thank you for joining us today and sharing your perspective. Today's conversation highlighted something very important. Artificial intelligence and exponential technologies are no longer future concepts. They are actively reshaping industries, economies, and social around the world and around us. And events like this create an essential space for leaders to come together, exchange ideas, and build collaborations that drive innovation responsibly and globally, right? Doug, would you like to share your thoughts if you're there? Doug, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, I set my phone down. Oh my
No, it's
God, look at
okay.
that big head behind me. That's quite scary.
No, it's okay.
What, this is so exciting, Yuka.
Mhm.
I mean, I think one of the speakers, maybe all of them really kind of hinted at this, is that this is the most exciting time that we've ever faced, in our lives, in the history of humankind. The
Yeah.
potential is spectacular. And what we're seeing, like we have Globi, the AI tool that we use to find connections for members.
Mhm.
Over the last few months, we've gone from understanding from the developers that these things take 3 to 6 months to develop down to weeks to days to hours, in terms of the development time. And so the potential and what's already happening, the impact that's happening already in the world is spectacular. Certainly, there's issues around workforce and people and the workforce and how that all pans out. But that I don't know how to process all of that. But I do know how to process that we all need to be racing forward and learning from this. And so I'd love to be at DES if I can't be there this year, be there next
Next
year.
year.
Sure.
Yes, for sure. Thank you. And thank you, Doug, and to everybody who joined today for being part of this conversation. And we really hope to see many of you in Malaga for DES 2026. If you'd like to revisit today's session, we'd like to make the recording available so you can get this conversation again. So anyways, thank you again. And today's session is over. The next Globinar and next month, maybe we can talk about something else, but maybe we can say something about this that happened already. Anyways, thank you very much and have a nice day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yuka. Thank you,
Gracias.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Sandra.
Thank you,
Really amazing.
Sandra.
Wow.
See you.
Thank you.